I think we're live and I haven't hit the buttons yet.
Yeah, that's
we
not
are.
making face.
All right, we made the face because I suck with the buttons. Here we go. Hello and welcome to Funny Science Fiction, the live edition.
Maybe I should be in charge of the buttons.
You know, I've thought about that many times.
Yep. I just backed it up on my phone, and there's me making the face because Tim didn't push the button yet.
There is definitely time to make the faces and to do the things and all that stuff. Because yes, I am bad at the button mashing and pushing. Anyway, welcome to the Funny Science Fiction Podcast, the live edition, the podcast that taught Commander Riker how to get a leg up on the competition.
Tim, you shouldn't sell yourself so short, though. You are good at pushing people's buttons.
I do work hard at it. I'm pretty good at it.
Well, before we get into tonight's show, we need to say our thanks to our show partners, River City Tees and Level Up Lightsabers.
With over 700 designs to choose from, River City Tees has something for everyone. Need some new nerd merch? River City Tees has you covered. Need funny or sarcastic designs? River City Tees has you covered. Are you looking for a new logo or custom design? Whether you need 1 or 100, River City Tees has you covered. With multiple colors and options for each and every design. With things to choose from like shirts, hoodies, phone cases, coffee mugs, and so much more. Be sure to follow River City Tees on Facebook and Instagram. If you do, you'll get the latest on designs and information about upcoming sales. River City Tees. Let's make a shirt together. Whoopsies.
Yeah, and Tim was too good at pushing buttons at that point.
I was trying to get ahead of the game, and
You disappointed the Mood Dragon.
well, Mood Dragon, it won't be the last time, and it certainly wasn't the first time, won't be the last time.
No, it wasn't.
I'm pretty
All
sure
right,
that's
that
how
was one of our show
that's going.
sponsors, River City Tees. And now for our favorite Level Up Lightsabers.
I was waiting.
And links for both of those will be in the show notes and comments section whenever Tim gets to pushing those buttons.
Those buttons have already been pushed. I've already put those in the comments. I did it actually, instead of looking for them, as the video's playing and trying to find them, I found them pre-show tonight. I'm so proud of myself. I
am amazed. Look
and yeah, one more link for you guys out there. If you're interested, you want to help support the show, you can use this link right here. This is where you can go. I believe I'm hitting the right one. We're going to find out. Probably not. I don't think so.
And there's his bank account. I mean,
no, that would be funny too, wouldn't it?
Here's a link to Tim's PayPal.
What would my wife not like me to do? That's what she would not like me to do. Anyway, let's try this one. There you go. You can support the show by using this link right there. That is where you can go to buy us a coffee or a koofy or however they're spelling it on that website. But it's just a couple dollars and it helps us to do some of the things that need to be done here, like hiring somebody to push the buttons. That will be Nick next week.
To figure out why we've gone into podcasting.
Exactly.
Or some guy named George Jetson.
I dig your button pushing, Tom. Well, one of us has to.
Why, good evening, dear Casey. Thank you for joining us in this train wreck that is our show and our lives. I mean,
but most of the show. Let's focus on the show.
All right. So tonight we welcome Mark and Josh from Dads Anime Stache.
Hey.
Perfect timing on that. Hey.
How's it going, guys?
It's going good.
Excellent. So, hey, before we jump into tonight's topic, I would love for you guys to take a couple minutes, tell everybody about your show, what the inspiration behind it is, all that kind of stuff. And most importantly, where can people go to find Dad's Anime Stache?
Yeah, Dad's Anime Stache is an anime review podcast. So we have a wheel. I'm sure everyone's heard about the wheel by now. It's pretty big.
I mean, it's glorious.
We spin this wheel, then it lands on anime suggested by fans, and then we watch them and rate them from F to S. The inspiration for calling it Dad's Anime Stache was Nick.
That Nick?
Me?
The one that's not paying any attention?
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, exactly. The one that's not paying any attention to the compliment.
Yeah, I liked
the guy right in the middle there.
The 7 seconds of silence is great for podcasting.
Oh, yes.
And that's where we lost all 3 of our viewers. Okay. No.
Wait, I think John might still be there. John, let us know you're still there. Just because I pay him. I mean,
Hey, Casey.
I don't pay John. That would be ridiculous.
Shut up, Justin.
Nick, I'm just going to let you push the buttons. Go for it. There you go.
Wait, I get to push buttons now.
I'm just going to
Let's
talk
see
about
if Nick
pushing
can
buttons. I'm going to let you
do
actually
any
push
better
buttons.
at it than Tim does, though.
Yeah.
I think you
And
did that
then
last week.
pretty much the main places to find us right now is our Facebook at Dad's Anime Stache and YouTube, which is the same thing. We do have a Patreon too.
You can check out our Patreon.
You
We only
do,
have
yeah.
one tier, and it's $1.
It's $1.
Hey, you got to start somewhere. Give people somewhere to go and get started. Cool. So how many episodes in are you guys right now?
It feels like thousands.
Well, we've had to watch some rough stuff. Well, maybe close to 30.
All right, nice.
I don't know.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I think that you guys got started with the stash just a little while before Kathleen and I started Pop Culture Addicts. I think we're on episode 21, 22, something like that over there. So, yeah, I know, right? Yeah. So I knew it was somewhere close to that, but yeah, I think you were just a little bit ahead of us. So cool. All right, what's your favorite topic you guys have reviewed so far? Your favorite episode, perhaps?
We have
done.
Yeah, well, we have a tie between 2 animes that we watched that got the same rating. So we had Digimon, which is one of Josh's favorites, and then we just watched one called Vivi Fluorite, Ai's Love Song, which is essentially just an anime Terminator. But it's actually really well done.
It is really well done. I was really impressed.
It was really well done.
Was Digimon rated N for nostalgic?
It was, and then I think what was an A+, right, or S-? No, it was one of the two. It was
A+.
Yeah, it was pretty up there.
It doesn't show too well, but I have a Digimon tattoo.
Oh, nice.
Ooh. I can't show mine, or we'd get canned off.
Would you look at the time? We got a thing to catch.
So, how do you guys rate the shows? Like, what are your, I guess, scale points?
Criteria, or
like your criteria as to why this is an A+.
Because you guys are just talking about it. Yeah, you guys were just talking about a rating system. So, what is that rating system? How does it work?
Yeah, so we mimicked it off of another anime because why not? Yu Yu Hakusho, they have like a demon rating system, F through S essentially. So we kind of started off with that, but I mean, does the storyline connect? Are we actually interested? Or did we have to bang our heads against our desks to get through another episode? Do the characters make any sense?
Criteria, but
yeah.
Okay.
I give way more credit. I think every episode of anime would be the banging my head into my desk.
That's how I feel about Star Wars.
And that was Dad's Anime Stache. We'll talk to them later, never. And no, it's cool. Teach their own on that one. For instance, my daughter's a huge anime fan, and I'm having an absolute ridiculously difficult time because she wants me to sit down and watch it with her. She's 15, and she watches as much as she can get her hands on. Now, I'm having a problem kind of getting into it. I was kind of hoping that Star Wars Visions, the Star Wars based anime, would be something that would be like the crossover drug. And I watched all that, and I actually really enjoyed it, but I couldn't translate that into going out and watching other anime, but particularly because one of her favorites is about some kids at a school playing volleyball, I guess.
Oh,
Haiku or something like
Hairaku or I've seen bits and pieces, but I know it.
Mark
I know
and
that one.
sports anime.
It's my jam, man. Sports anime is my jam.
Yeah, that one has not been my jam. I've been struggling with that one. So, but yeah. So if you have any recommendations, think about them. Any recommendations to help me cross the anime bridge?
There's a movie called Your Name. It is.
That's actually good. We reviewed that as a movie, and then we actually reviewed it as the movie that transcended just being an animated movie and transcended into actual it did so well that they're making a live an American version for theaters because the animated in Japan and in America did so well because it's their second highest grossing movie in history.
Okay, called Your Name.
Yeah, it's phenomenal.
I wrote it down. I'll check it out. That's what I need. I'm trying to find something.
We just wait here for you to watch it.
We'll come back in about an hour and a half.
All right.
Spirited Away is good, but I would watch Your Name first, and if you like Your Name, then go into the Spirited Away.
Spirited Away is very much anime-like.
Yeah, that's what I was like. Your Name is a good crossover, and if you can get past it and you really enjoy it, then you can get into more to the Spirited Away or Howl's Moving Castle or stuff like that. Generally, movies is a good gateway to start with. Movies that are by themselves because there's no really commitment to it. You watch the one thing for an hour and a half, 2 hours. Sure. Yeah, you're not having to watch 50 episodes if you're really not into anime.
I really enjoyed Howl's Moving Castle. That was
it was a good one. Yeah, it's a good one.
So Mark once made us watch this movie called Kuriko's Basketball.
No, Justin. Okay,
whatever.
That was Justin. I'm a fan. No, Naruto sucks. I'm a fan of the anime Kuriko's Basketball, but
so there's
Justin
this movie called Kuriko's Basketball that they made us watch, but they didn't tell us you have to watch 200 episodes of the anime before you understand what's going on in the movie. So awesome. It went down like a heavy thing.
I mean, hey, I didn't rate it that high, and I'm a huge fan of the anime, and I said the movie was too fan service to actually enjoy it too much.
Okay. All right. I will check those out for sure.
The anime I've ever actually gotten into until recently was Avatar: Last Airbender. That's as close to anime as my brain has ever gotten.
M. Night Shyamalan is a genius. That was an amazing movie.
Now we're gonna get hate mail.
My daughter would be, if she heard you, she'd be screaming at the top of her lungs right now. Yeah. So, or I should say lung, but boom, boom.
Yeah. She still has the other one.
She still has it. It just doesn't do anything. So it's a joke that she'll appreciate. Nobody else watching this will appreciate it. She'll appreciate that when she hears it.
It would be cool if she got to keep it in a jar, though, because that was just as fun to get out at parties.
Anyway, okay.
So speaking of anime, what is our topic tonight, Tim?
Well, our topic is not anime, but animation. So we have these guys here who are anime and animation experts by my own calling. So we'll see how they're going to do with this. But we thought tonight we'd talk about 1990s era animated superhero shows. What are our favorites? Why did we like them? Things along those lines. And if there is a 90s era anime that kind of fits into this topic, please feel free to recommend it, bring it in. That's always a good thing. So, but we can get started, and I'll start the direction here. Tim has scared the guest. Possible.
We're intimidating.
It's true.
So, for me, it was the 91 to 97 run of the X-Men. Actually, 92 to 97. That for me was the quintessential outside of Batman. Okay, the animated Batman series from the 90s with Kevin Conroy. That's like number one. I didn't want to take the softball, so I took the smaller size softball and took X-Men. But I've always really enjoyed this one. I've always liked the way that they portrayed Wolverine. He was my favorite character. I liked the way that You know, he was just this little ball of hate running around with steel claws coming out of his hands.
Which is why he was the one I played when we played X-Men on the playground.
Absolutely.
As a little ball of hate.
Yeah, so
yeah, it's just he was not a ball of hate. He was just angry a lot. He's very relatable.
Just slightly, yeah.
I just remember distinctly one of my friends being like, "But you should play one of the girls because you're a girl." I'm like, "I'm Wolverine," as I shoved him off of the snow mound.
Anytime me and my brothers would play any of like those 4-player co-op games where you run around, well, I would always either be Wolverine or Gambit, and then they would choose like Silver Surfer, and I don't know who else they chose.
Street Sharks.
Street Sharks. Street Sharks is unexplainable. Imagine Ninja Turtles, but instead they were sharks.
Yeah. Just imagine if everything was a king shark, but like combined with a Ninja Turtle mentality, and then just released into the streets.
And then throw some WWE in there.
Yeah, and then there you go, Street Sharks.
Now, what if we put them in the middle of a big windstorm, though? Then we could have Street Sharknado.
That's true.
I'd watch it.
And if we do it in the middle of a city, we can get gargoyles involved. And then, see.
I'm glad you brought up gargoyles because I had a week's vacation and I spent it watching gargoyles with my son. That is the craziest show.
I wasn't open to watch gargoyles. But...
It's phenomenal. They're releasing these like master grade action figures of all the gargoyles.
Really?
They look phenomenal.
Don't get your hopes up. They've got Goliath out, and then they have the repaint of the clone. But we'll see what happens to the rest. So NECA's let me down before.
Yeah, it's true.
So surprisingly, Justin, Static Shock was 2000s. It was 2000 to 2004. But I also enjoyed that series.
It's a great one. It doesn't feel like it because it literally is like...
It's on the tail end of that whole era.
It looks like it's made in the 90s.
Yeah. It's one of the top Batman the Animated Series spinoffs. Top 4 at least.
I really, really like because I grew up watching the Batman Animated Series. Like it was my favorite.
Yeah,
I loved it.
Oh, easy, yeah.
Totally not the one I actually picked for tonight, but right.
Oh, we actually picked.
Okay, I did when Tim asked for a topic, and I said, "Hey, let's talk '90s superhero cartoons." I had one in mind because I love that show so much.
Hey Tim, do you happen to have that clip?
Oh, the video? Of course we do.
Yeah.
I didn't know you want.
Because my mom is currently mad at me, so let's change that.
Let's go to the screen.
Video. And this is for Kathleen's mom.
It's playtime! Hello, this is Michael Bell, and welcome to the Funny Science Fiction Podcast. Kathleen's mother, you want to play?
You know, if the next time I see your mom, I am so going to have to duck.
She's going to punch. Well, I mean, I wouldn't duck because there's a big.
No, that's true.
If you duck, she'll just hit you in the face.
Yeah, I forgot about that. We still had that video promo up. But yeah, we had Michael Bell on the show, and he was able to do the voice of Quackerjack from Darkwing Duck for Kathleen, which was one of Kathleen's favorites.
It's classic.
I got banned from watching it.
That was
so Negaduck.
I'm sorry, what was that?
I always preferred Negaduck.
Oh yeah,
Negaduck. Yeah,
he was the best villain.
It was cool. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Speaking of ducks, there was also the '90s, the Mighty Ducks.
I was waiting for a weirder transition, to be honest.
Yeah, that was
like speaking of ducks, Hey Arnold was a thing. I was like, wait, what?
No, I mean that's a good transition because the Mighty Ducks was a weird transition from the movies to a show about aliens who are ducks that play hockey.
Yeah,
yeah,
and it was. But I really did enjoy the. Like I literally sat and just watched a whole bunch of the episodes, and I'm like, oh, this is nostalgic, fun-filled couple hours.
Yeah, at least they didn't go Howard the Duck with it because that was just weird.
There's a lot that I like when I was thinking of 90s that I'm like, man, I watched all of these so much, but like Batman Beyond is like one of my all-time favorites.
Yeah.
Like I started collecting like the comics and got the new figure that DC released like last year or whatever, Batman Beyond. But I think it was Captain Planet that I probably quote
Speed
the
Racer
most.
is anime. That's true.
It is, yeah. Just because I feel like I love Captain Planet because like most of the kids had all these like crazy cool powers they could do stuff with like fire and wind and earth, and then it was like, all right, we got 4. Oh, crap, we got 5 kids. Let's just give them the power of heart, and it'll work out, and it'll make perfect sense. And then we have Captain Planet.
Oh man, you're like an Aquaman denier. He used the power of heart to befriend animals.
I know, but it was just the hilarity of like they'd all do their little poses, and it'd be like power of like fire, water, earth, air, and he'd be like heart. Like, yeah, you go, man. You contribute.
Look at
to that.
your participation trophy.
You got it.
It was, yeah, you're right. It was kind of funny though, just the way that they used it.
Here's a quiz for you. Which order did the elements go in Captain Planet?
Earth, fire, wind, water, heart.
How does that compare to Avatar?
Well, Avatar is only the 4, right?
Yeah.
That you know of.
Yeah,
They
true.
never made it to the Heart Nation.
That's true, yeah. The glorious Heart Nation with their ability to talk to animals and save pollution.
On that big flying cow thing with the tail.
Yeah, which I
Moose-
don't know the
moose.
name of.
Moose cow thing. It was huge. That's all I know. So. Pokemon, very mainstream, but still worth my time. All right, cool. I know Pokemon has a huge following. Still does. I mean, I talk to people who still are like, I'm not, whatever game they come out with, I'm gonna play it, I'm gonna buy it, I'm gonna do it. You know?
The new game just came out like 2-3 days ago. That's been blowing up everywhere because it's the first more open world Pokemon game.
Is it Diamond or Platinum or?
It's like Curious or something, but it's
that one. Okay.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Back to Captain Planet for 1 second. Wasn't Jeff Goldblum in that?
Was he?
I want to agree with you.
To the Googles.
But while he's Googling, I mean, obviously, we talked about the Ninja Turtles. That's obviously it was a really good classic one, which I feel they've tried to recreate that show like 3 separate times.
So,
100%, yeah.
He played the
A villain.
the
Venomous
rat.
Scum.
Yeah.
No, the rat guy.
No, it's Verminous.
Verminous, that's right. I'm sorry. Yeah, Verminous. I didn't see the R there.
That all
think
makes
he's-
sense.
Yeah. So he was in it. I mean, you have to look at the cast on Captain Planet is amazing, actually.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
It's got LeVar Burton in it. It's got Dean Stockwell. It's got Meg Ryan is in it.
course,
David
yeah.
Coburn. It's just kind of impressive that, you don't really think about those as being voice actors, other than LeVar Burton. He's done a few things in voiceover, but a lot of those guys I don't think of it doing anything in voiceover, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, hey, they did some VO. Check that out.
You did Captain Planet.
Whoopi
Yeah,
Goldberg was Mother Gaia.
Yeah. Whoopi Goldberg's always playing Gaia. Every time you turn around, that's what she's doing.
It's true.
Whether it's Star Trek or saving the planet.
Oh wow,
One way or the other.
Jim Cummings was in it. Tim Curry.
Tim Curry was also in Gargoyles.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Gargoyles also had a great cast.
Yeah.
Jim Belushi.
It's a classic one.
See here. Yeah.
Hey.
Jonathan Frakes.
The thing about Jonathan Frakes was like, it
Dorn.
was so interesting to me that they literally just made Riker again. They're like, listen, this is Riker again. We're just going to call him Xanatos.
Nice.
There you go. Yeah, that's a pretty impressive cast there on that show as well. I'd say I don't think I ever really got into that show. I ever really watched it much.
You're missing out. They fought the Illuminati. They fought aliens.
Yeah.
Really? Okay. A couple of my buddies were really into it growing up, but I just, I don't know that it was on.
What was that?
I think it may have been on like sometime at the same time. I wanted to watch something else, so I chose the other thing.
Weird thing about Gargoyles is like the first episode is 13 seasons. The second episode is 70. The first season is 13. The second season is 70, and the last season is 13.
Yep. It's a classic. Season
is the craziest crap I've ever seen in my life.
It's just a great one. Like, what was the? I'm trying to think of. It was like Pizza Rats, right? Is that what I'm trying to think of?
In Gargoyles?
No. It was like another '90s like thing. I think it was called Pizza Rats, or something like that. I'm not sure.
I know of two guys, a girl, in a pizza place. Does that count?
Yeah, with Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what you're talking about. That's what he's talking about.
So, yeah, I don't think that's the same thing. All right, so cool. Who else has got a pick for what they liked in the 90s?
Isn't it like...
Sorry. Go ahead.
You go ahead.
I had forgotten that my dear sweet friend made her appearance in the 90s as well.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah.
There was also SWAT Cats.
Yeah. There's so many, like, you go back and look at like the list of 90s cartoons and you're just like, how did I watch the majority of these?
But you look at some of those and like they stand out from your childhood and you're like, oh, I used to watch that all the time. And then you find out there were 7 episodes. Like, what?
Yeah.
Right.
Like, how did I keep watching this?
Years.
Like, I clearly remember watching 3 seasons of this. Like, nope, you're just completely crazy.
Right.
Well, you see, the 90s were a different time, and I don't think time made sense.
It's true. Yeah, Animaniacs was that's a show on a lot.
Mm-hmm.
The revamp of it's actually really fun too.
I don't think I've seen the revamp yet.
I highly recommend it. It's on Hulu.
So back to the Pokemon thing. Me and my brothers ended up getting our hands on a Japanese copy of the first movie before it even reached America, and so like we sat there and watched it.
I'm calling the cops.
There's no proof.
I'm calling that number on the beginning of the movie.
But yeah, that was amazing.
Yeah, no, Pokemon, I know. I'm hoping that I've seen a lot of this new gameplay footage, and I'm hoping that maybe the games go that route. But the show needs to either just move on from Ash already, or age him.
I started losing.
You know, guys, come on. You don't understand the point of the show if you wanted to move on. So when you were a child, the show was for you. And now the show's for other children. The show is never going to move past that. It's always going to be the same plot. It's always going to be for children. The children deserve something. They don't even have Saturday morning cartoons anymore.
It was good up
They
until...
have all the time cartoons.
Yeah.
It was good up until their Pokemon became everyday items, such as a bag of garbage.
Or the ice cream cone.
Oh, you're talking about like the Pokemon Go game where they just
They were just preparing them for real life, Nick.
There's like the new Pokemon that are like a candelabra or an ice cream cone. Or
they were preparing them for real life. The things you get excited about when you're an adult.
I just want one birthday episode. Just make them 11. Like just one birthday episode, right? Where all the Pokemon that he's abandoned forever and have been sitting in Pokeballs for months on end.
I guess Tauros.
Yeah, like the 30 Tauros are all just sitting there. Like,
hey, Jason.
And then
what's up, Jay?
What's up, man?
Because they killed him.
Well, yeah.
So one that I guess I had like Mandela affected into the 90s that I thought was a 90s cartoon, but I just looked it up and I was wrong. It started in 2002 was the Justice League animated series.
Because there was 2, right? There was Justice League and then Justice League
Unlimited.
Unlimited.
But to be fair, they're both spin-offs of Batman.
Yeah.
Well,
And so I watched a ton of those, especially because my kids were little and I was watching them with them. And I mean, it makes sense that it wouldn't have been in the 90s because I didn't get even married to 98. So, but still, for whatever reason, I'd kind of like spun that in my brain being back into the 90s. And because I really enjoyed the animated Justice League.
I think there's a few like that. For me, it was Samurai Jack.
Okay.
Where I was like, because it was like 2000 to 2003 is when the first one relaunched, and for the life of me, I thought it was like a late 90s cartoon,
Sure.
but then I was looking into it, I was like 2001. I'm like, that can't be right. I'm like, no, that's right. You're old now. No, that is right. That tracks. That all tracks now.
To get off topic and talk about Justice League, I loved Justice League Unlimited so much. The way it would
it was phenomenal
into characters that weren't the big three.
Mm-hmm.
Made me so
yeah,
happy.
it was awesome. Yeah, you got like Green Arrow showcasing Booster Gold.
That Booster Gold episode was my favorite episode.
Yeah. That's one of the episodes that got me into Booster Gold and being such a huge fan was that episode.
Yeah,
and I also like the fact that a lot of those shows, a lot of the Unlimited shows, when it was about the big characters, it was things that their powers couldn't solve. They had to do other things to save the day or to win the fight or whatever,
Yeah.
It wasn't just always that Superman was strong, fast, and, could blow lasers out of his eyes,
Yeah, that show reminded me a lot of Batman the Brave and the Bold with the team ups of actually being able to like see different people.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
There was a Superman animated series in the 90s too, wasn't there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was called.
I don't remember what the name of it was though, but I barely remember even seeing it.
Well,
I don't think it lasted. Did it? I don't think it lasted too long.
Animated series was apparently a thing, at least.
There was a TV show as well called Lois and Clark.
Yes, but I'm talking about the animation one, not.
Yes, but Superman the animated series was another spinoff of Batman.
Yeah.
Right.
Everything is Batman.
And
Jason?
Bruce Timm got his money's worth.
Yeah, it's true.
Jason Taylor, I will unfriend you.
What I loved about the Justice League was that you knew Batman was the boss because even though everyone else could fly, he made them all fly in his jet.
Yeah, I love that thing where it takes it. You know that meme or whatever. Yeah, you know Batman's the boss when everyone else in this jet can fly.
Yeah, that's an awesome one. I do enjoy that.
There was the Incredible Hulk in the 90s.
Yeah.
Spider-Man.
There was
Spider-Man,
so much
Spider-Man,
good animation.
Again,
in the
how are we
90s.
forgetting to talk about one of our favorites?
I don't know. Tell me.
The Tick. The original animated Tick.
I did forget about that.
Oh.
I am
Me was
the best superhero named the Tick in that show.
I forgot about.
I always enjoyed Arthur. Arthur always made me laugh.
Tick was pretty good. I do enjoy that.
So,
Speaking of the Tick, we've got something special later in the show.
about the Tick. Yay, the Tick. Anyway, but yeah, so man, I can't believe I forgot that was a 90s thing.
I don't know.
Yeah.
That's the thing. You start deep diving and you're like, how did all this come out in the
Well,
same?
that's the thing is I'm looking at the 30 best comic book cartoons from the 90s, and it's I forgot these ones existed.
Yeah.
Here's one that's I feel like is more obscure. Mummy's Alive.
I remember that.
Yeah.
It
Wow,
wasn't very
yeah.
good.
It was or wasn't?
It was not.
I enjoyed it as a kid, so I've not watched it since.
My problem with 90s cartoons is like I remember watching some of them, but I didn't really love anything as much as I loved Power Rangers. So everything else was kind of tertiary and on the side.
And then there was that spin-off, the Big Bad Beetleborgs.
Was
Oh,
not a
yeah,
spin-off of Power Rangers.
No,
I do remember that one.
Nope. It was another show. But the Power Rangers only ever got close to having one spin-off, and it was VR Troopers, and then they decided not to make it a spin-off. They had shot an original pilot where Tommy was the original VR Trooper, but then they decided to bring him back to Power Rangers. But it's all the same stuff. It's made from an old Japanese show called Super Sentai, where they just took the fight scenes from that and then added some American teenagers.
All right, so here's a question for you guys because I absolutely do not know the answer, and it's probably really silly and stupid. But here it goes: What's the difference between Power Rangers and Mighty Morphin Power Rangers? Are they the same thing?
They're the same thing.
Kind of. Same thing, yeah.
Mighty Morphin was the first kind of Power Ranger, but then you had Power Ranger Zeo, Turbo, In Space. And
so it started with Mighty Morphin, and then it just became about like different iterations where their powers came from like different sources instead of all coming from like Zordon and everything. So it just kind of like changed where they got it, but not that the fact that it was still Earth. And like later seasons bring reference. Yeah, like later shows bring reference to it where like in one of the more recent ones that I've watched with my kid when he was super into Power Rangers, he's kind of grown out of it a little bit. It's like there's like pirates and they make reference to like other old Power Rangers, and Tommy shows back up.
Yeah, they can morph into those old Rangers.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like all their powers are morphing into past Rangers. So they connect every universe. Like every show is all connected in the same universe. It's just different iterations.
Every Ranger gets their power from the grid, which is basically background radiation that people tap into to get their powers. Okay. There's just different radiations.
And on the same lines of Power Rangers and Big Bad Beetleborgs was the Mystic Knights of
Tir na Nog.
Nog.
Man, like we would not believe how many Power Ranger ripoff shows there are. Like, you have to start looking into that stuff, and they just pile up. If I'm not mistaken,
the most recent one was Boba Fett, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything Star Wars just ripped off Power Rangers.
That's canon.
USA Network's first original show was a Power Rangers ripoff. I can't remember its name. It was based on the Zodiac, though. But it was awful. But story's going nowhere. Someone talk. Phil.
No, I was learning something. So for me, I'm like, hey, this is great. Okay. Yeah, because I don't know a ton about Power Rangers. I never really got into them when they first came out. The only thing Power Rangers-esque that I've ever really watched was the movie that came out a few years ago. I went to the movie theater. I watched the movie, which I thought was actually really good.
I liked the movie. It got a lot of hate, but I liked it.
I enjoyed it for what it was, but because I knew going into it was going to be different. But that's the whole point. It's
right.
It makes more sense to make the way they made the robot than the 90s cartoon where it's 5 teenagers standing next to each other in a robot, somehow all controlling 5 different parts where clearly the joysticks all are connected, but it's doing 5 different things.
Right. Yeah, Mark, in the first episode, they have trouble controlling it. You forgot that.
It's
it
true.
Took them 2 episodes.
It's true, yeah. By the third, though, they're like, all right, we're masters of this giant robot with our advanced training that we just got from this giant floating head guy.
I learned to drive a forklift in one day, dude. It's not that hard.
It's all the same thing.
But did you have 4 others connected too, where you all had to work together?
Yes.
I mean, okay. Well,
that's the only way I drive them.
Then you win.
Yeah. Well, you just stack them on top of each other. It's just 5 forklifts on top of each other, and everyone just has to kind of coordinate and pass the pallet from one forklift to the next forklift.
We get so much work done.
Sounds like it. Very busy. Let's see. Did we talk about Dexter's Lab or Powder Puff Girls? No, I don't think we mentioned either one of those, and both were big shows.
They were, yeah. Omelette du
Absolutely
fromage is the main thing I take away from Dexter's Lab.
Yeah, I never got it. I never really watched Powder Puff Girls because I was like, I'm not gonna watch. I was a kid. I'm like, I'm not watching a cartoon about girls.
Hey, it was amazing.
Been like real girls.
There was definitely episodes where it was like, dear Lord, can you speed it up a little bit? But
there were also episodes where you're like, dear Lord, why are they showing this to children?
No, yeah, like the ones where, because it was the classic Mojo Jojo thing. Whenever he got defeated, his helmet that he was wearing, they'd crack his helmet, exposing his brain, and punch him in his brain.
Monkey time.
Jesus.
That's that's a good lesson for kids.
Yeah,
it's like that scene in the first It movie where they beat him with bats for 32 minutes. It's just too much.
Were they like trying to mimic the Ren and Stimpy show?
Oh yeah. What was the other one? Cat Dog, right? Was that was 90s, right?
Cat Dog, yeah.
Cat Dog.
Oh yeah.
And Cow and Chicken.
That.
Yeah, Cow and Chicken. How are you showing that to me when I was like 10?
that show went off the rails a lot. A lot.
Like the fact that the main thing kind of like interacting with them was the devil, but it's not a clothed devil. That's as PG as I can probably put that.
Cartoon Network did some weird things, like Johnny Bravo.
Oh my God, yeah. Johnny Bravo, and I don't think that show could not exist in today's culture.
No, we're too PC nowadays. Where most of these cartoons that we're talking about, the way that they did things, Ren and Stimpy, as it was back in the day, couldn't exist. You know,
Pinky and the Brain, I don't think you could get away without tweaking either because of how much Pinky's like ridiculed.
Well, no, and even in the newest run on Hulu for Animaniacs, Pinky and the Brain has been tweaked. Mm-hmm. It's not the same as it was. It's still very good, but it's nowhere near as. I mean, back in the day, Animaniacs just didn't give a crap. They were going to mock anybody, anywhere for anything, and now it's very much scaled back. It's still enjoyable, but it is definitely scaled back.
Yeah, so, 90s cartoons took chances. They were just like, let's see what we can get away with on TV before the FCC sends us a cease and desist.
Let's throw this against the wall.
Early Simpsons.
Oh yeah. Oh, good call. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But yeah, yeah, they just didn't care, man. They were going to do what they wanted to do, and that was just that's just all there was. So you were saying something, Nick?
Oh, I was gonna change topics a little bit if we were.
That's fine.
Looking at the time and.
Yeah, that's fine. So I won't expect Josh to pitch in a whole lot about this because
I can if you want.
You can say whatever you want, man. Hey, it takes both sides to make an argument. That's what I always say. So I'm cool with it. But we were going to talk a little bit about Boba Fett because it is something that's current, happening right now. A lot of people are very interested in it. I had a major brain explosion over the last episode with the realization of something. And I'm very excited because I shared it with Kathleen. I don't know if I shared it with Nick too, but and then I found out other people on the internet thought the same thing. And I'm like, yes, I'm not the only dummy who thinks this. So anyway, so looking at the Mandalorian, because that's what I call episode 5. This is Mandalorian episode season 3, episode 1. The armor
sneak peek.
Sneak peek, yes. The armorer says something specifically to Mando that made me realize that the armorer, the heavy Mandalorian, the heavy armored Mandalorian, and Mando himself are all part of Death Watch from the Clone Wars. And the reason I came to that is because the armorer specifically says that had we not had our sect stationed on the planet moon of Concordia, we would not have survived the Great Purge. And I didn't catch that the first time going through, but I caught it the second time watching it. As soon as she said Concordia, I went, oh man, that's Death Watch. They're part of Death Watch. And then I realized that the heavy armor guy, when he went to challenge Mando, mentions that the Darksaber was founded by his house, House Vizsla. There's the connection to Clone Wars, and he wants to challenge for it. And the whole thing was just really cool. And yeah, and now it makes sense to me why in Mandalorian season 2, why Bo-Katan was so against them keeping Mando keeping his helmet on, why she called them radicals, and why she said she stood up against Death Watch. And all of a sudden my head just started spinning and going all these different places, and now I want to go watch it all back over again. So
yeah, I'm a little behind, but
spoilers.
I don't mind when it's stuff that I know. If it's stuff that I like know for a fact that I'm like, I'm gonna watch numerous times, I'm not as like crazy about it. But it's been interesting because it's like I feel like Boba Fett's gotten a lot more flack than Mandalorian did.
Ton.
And I don't know, like my thought just was that I think Mandalorian did such a good job that now we're holding everything to like this pinnacle of like how good it all has to be, without realizing that Mandalorian had way more to draw on in terms of like story than like.
Sure.
if they were going early Boba Fett, you have a ton to go on, right? But obviously they weren't going to do that. They're going with like Boba Fett after a long period of time. There's not as much to draw from, you know, in terms of like what you know in comics and stuff like that. I mean, but it's still really good, and I think we just have to learn to love things.
Well, there's a couple things to take away from your comments there. Number one, first and foremost, learn to love things. Very rarely, no matter what fandom is your favorite fandom, very rarely is it going to be done exactly, the way you want it to see it done. You know, there's always going to be something that you want to see tweaked, changed, whatever. And I think that's the biggest problem plaguing Boba Fett right now is we've had 30 plus years of wanting to see him, on the big screen for more than 2 to 3 minutes at a clip. There's people who they've built up Boba Fett to be this bounty hunter god in their mind, and that's how they see them. So if it's anything short of that, of him kicking butt and taking names every single episode, I think people are kind of getting kind of beside themselves with it. So that became their favorite character, and they can't see him in any other way. So learn to love things. Just like Jason said, years of hype. You've had him in the books, in the comic books, and if you were able to get as a playable character in a video game, he was, nearly undefeatable. He was. So.
Yeah, he was one of the I still remember playing not the new one, but Battlefront, like the original Battlefront, when you were playing on the set and you could play as Boba Fett and try to fly around
the man was a cheat code.
Yeah, he was so much more fun to play than the rest because everyone else you had to just kind of steadily walk, but Boba Fett you could fly around and shoot rockets.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Boba was a cheat code, man. It made it like I said, people have had this anticipation built up. I, for one, am actually enjoying the pace of the show. I like the fact that they're going back and they're building a story underneath him. They're giving him a foundation.
I think you had to. I think like you said, it came with all this hype from people that watched a lot of the stuff like us, but there's this new generation now watching a lot of this stuff for the first time who might not really know who Boba Fett is, and this might be their first foray into Boba Fett. And if you came in guns a-blazing for 10 episodes, we'd all really enjoy it, but there might not be a whole lot to build off of for a season 2 or a season 3. But I think it's smart, the pacing that they're doing, giving him an actual character beyond just the guy in the helmet that we had saw before.
Yeah. I think too that the biggest difference that we're experiencing, or that people are experiencing in the fandom between Mando and Boba Fett, is that Mando is a created character out of the blue. There was no backstory, there was no hype, no expectation for him, and they could build him and design him however they wanted. And so there wasn't 30 years of people going, "Oh man, I can't wait to see this guy on screen." Yeah, so anything he did was going to be cool.
Yeah, that's true. You can't really tweak Boba Fett's look without outraging.
Oh yeah,
everyone.
I mean, look what they did with just the outfit so far this year, because Temuera Morrison is not exactly a thin mint anymore. Rocking the dad bod, you get it. So we got dad bod Boba, which is awesome for us.
Oh yeah.
For us chubby dads, it's a cool thing.
I like to be showcased as a nice kick-ass bounty hunter on TV.
Exactly. And and people were really upset that that they didn't CGI him and make him in the same style of Boba Fett that we saw going into the Sarlacc pit.
Yeah, I was like, what would you look like after you escaped a Sarlacc pit and decided to enjoy your life? Are you telling me that your first instinct would be I need to do 1,000 push-ups?
I'm going to be so ripped.
No, you're I'm going to go sit down, drink a beer, and eat whatever I wanted because I just spent however long inside of a giant, alien monster thing.
Exactly.
I'm going to get that second cheeseburger.
Exactly. With bacon.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Do they have bacon in Star Wars?
I think, doesn't Lando have one?
Lando has a mustache, yeah.
Lando.
Yeah.
They're not overly popular. In Rogue One, Cassian Andor has a mustache, I believe, doesn't he? A thin one?
Yeah.
A small one?
I will say, among the humans, facial hair
is limited.
Is pretty limited, yeah.
Wookiees, though, 100%.
Oh yeah,
facial
that's
hair.
all. That's
Are
all
you
hair.
sure that that's a mustache though?
It's probably a part of a soul
Retarded.
patch. It's probably a soul patch I got out of control.
Happens to the best of us.
You know, sometimes you just take the risk and then it goes too far.
You just got to go with it. Hey, thanks for stopping by, Jay.
See you, Jason.
He said, "Love all you guys. Going to be with my daughter. Great show. Thanks, man. Appreciate it." So, just real briefly, because we've only got a couple minutes left here, we wanted to talk about a few things that happened over the past week and what we have coming up. Oh, look at the little guy. Hi.
Hello, tiny friend.
Oh, that's awesome. I miss my kids being that age.
You want one?
No, and I just said that publicly. Darn it.
Yeah, you can take mine if you want. He's right over there. Being
he wants to
angry at
watch
me.
Spider-Man on the computer, but he can't. His name is Max, and he was named after Max from a Goofy movie.
Nice.
Oh, that's
Goofy
awesome.
movie.
See,
That's awesome. Well
my
named.
son, not my son's first name, but his middle name is Remy, after Remy LeBeau from X-Men.
Nice.
Awesome.
Very nice. One of my sons, his middle name is Harrison after Harrison Ford.
Very nice.
So yeah, not
So
that.
to circle back around to Kathleen ticking off her mother earlier, I named my daughter after you, Mom. There you go. That's it. They share a middle name. She can't be mad at me.
Everyone gets one.
Doing some thinking there. All right.
Just if I remember.
All right. So
What were we
Nick,
talking
tell
about?
us about last Friday.
So last Friday, our guest was the one and only Sam Witwer.
Yeah, you're never gonna be able to say it as cool as he does.
Yeah, I know. Who you may also know as the voice of Darth Maul in Star Wars Clone Wars and Rebels. Also the voice of Starkiller in the video game Force Unleashed 1 and 2. And he does some other voices as well.
Hey, this is Sam Witwer. Welcome to the Funny Science Fiction Podcast.
Execute episode 66.
That's right. It was our 66th episode. And you can still find that episode on the Funny Science Fiction on our YouTube channel and your favorite audio podcast providers.
Yeah, that show was a lot of fun. If you haven't had a chance to watch it yet, it's still up, of course. You'll be able to watch it or listen to it. And I think probably one of my favorite bits about that, other than the fact that we talked about music for quite a bit in the beginning, and I honestly could have talked with Sam about music for probably a good couple hours. He's very knowledgeable. He has a band called Crash Tones, and we talked about his band, his music, how he goes about music production, why he wants music on vinyl and cassette. It's pretty interesting.
The fact he has a working Walkman is still impressive to me.
Yeah, I still can't get around that he's got a functional working Walkman. And he's like, yeah, so I popped the tape in my Walkman the other day. And I think all of us were like, wait, what? You have a Walkman?
Let's literally rewind.
Exactly. Yeah. But yeah, it was a really cool conversation with him. But the outside of that, to me, one of my favorite things was our conversation about the creation of Darth Maul and bringing him back into Clone Wars and how they were going to go about it and how he went from being a silent character in the movie and why he was being a silent character in the movie to being the character that we saw in Clone Wars and Rebels. And, you know,
Is that the spiky head devil guy?
yeah, red and black. Yeah. So yeah, really cool conversation. We also talked a bit about other shows that he's been in, like Dexter and Smallville and The Mist, and he was uncredited for it, but his scene in that was a whole episode, wasn't it? Whole episode of The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
Because there was flashback scenes throughout.
There were flashback scenes in and out, yeah.
But yeah, he gets his head blown off in Walking Dead, so he was pretty happy about that.
The classic way.
Yeah, well, you know, if you got to go, you got to go.
It's the good way to go.
If you become a brain-eating zombie, then of course your head needs to go.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, well, that was last Friday. This Friday, our guest has credits in both live action, in both the live action runs for the Tick TV show and the cartoon, right? Something I don't know. Anyway,
Nope, just the live action.
well, you typed badly then. But anyway, in 2001, she played Captain Liberty, and in the 2019 run, she was Lobstercles, along with a host of other shows that she's been a part of. She also has a new song EP called Like a Girl on Apple, Spotify, Amazon, and others.
It's a 6-song EP. You guys should go check it out. I listened to it this afternoon. Not too bad. Mostly just piano and singing. But anyway, here's our guest for this Friday.
Hi, this is Liz Vassy, aka Captain Liberty. Welcome to the Funny Science Fiction Podcast.
And now I'm understanding how you typed things. My brain is not here. It's not.
So I've been a fan of Liz's work for quite some time. We got to chat with her about both of the runs of the Tick, both the 2002 run, which is personally still my favorite because of Patrick Warburton as the Tick. I thought he was amazing in that. Not that Peter Serafinowicz does a bad job at it. I think he's also a very good Tick. Different styles. I just like Warburton. But we talk about bringing a character like Captain Liberty, another character that was created for the show, what it was like to bring that character to life. We talk about our time on Dr. Horrible's sing-along blogs. And how different things that she's done with Nathan Fillion. So just a public announcement that Nathan Fillion, we are coming for you in the least creepy way possible. We're coming for you.
There's no non-creepy way to say that.
Yeah.
There's not. No, we just really want him to be a guest on the show. So
We just really want to be his friend.
But yeah, we're getting there. Hopefully, that's one of the dream guests, that I would love to have on the show. I would love to talk with Nathan Fillion.
Well, we've talked with enough people who have been on projects with him,
right?
That I feel like we're
Patricia
getting
Tallman.
enough of a repertoire to email his agent with the, hey, we've talked to all of these people. They can confirm for us that we're only as slightly crazy as we seem. But
and then as long as they don't see this last clip where I just said, yeah, we're coming for you.
You guys are going the wrong way. You don't want him to be coming.
No, if he sees that, it's probably a problem. So, all right, guys, take a moment here and remind everybody where they can find you guys and why they should be checking out Dad's Anime Stache.
Yeah, so Dad's Anime Stache, Facebook and YouTube, both at Dad's Anime Stache. And yeah, it's pretty much just three dads just riffing on anime and just every probably rated our way possible. It's just, I don't know, we have a lot of fun doing it. We've watched some really bad ones and some really good ones, and it's just it's a mission to find an anime that cracks our top 5.
It's a very good show, but there's a reason it's on at 10:30 at night. So it's not for the kids.
Yeah,
fair enough.
Yeah.
it's just because that's after your kid goes to bed and you can actually talk. But
Yes.
Also that too. Yeah. That's another big reason.
I really get that.
When
There's
three
so many
dads could
shows.
schedule a time when all 5 of our kids combined were actually asleep at the same time.
I totally get that. And
That's
why
the
thank
Lord's
you,
work.
Pop Culture Addicts, for telling us how awesome our show was. That's amazing.
I am slightly confused how Pop Culture Addicts is
Podception.
commenting on funny science fiction since the hosts of Pop Culture are.
I see both of them. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah. Anyway, hey, great.
You're missing a crucial element of our show, Tim.
There is an editor who's behind the scenes and makes us look less stupid. So yeah, he's probably doing that. But
He tries
yeah,
to look less stupid. It doesn't always work.
and so the missing person from the show tonight, Justin, actually did our theme music for Pop Culture Addicts. Yeah, he made us our little music intro, our jam. So made us sound better than we probably deserved. So
Yeah, he's gotten pretty good at that stuff.
yeah, he is.
He's not good at a lot of things, so we like when we find something he can do.
I feel like that's how my friends compliment me. You're not good at a lot of things, but that one you didn't screw up.
Friend is a strong word.
Yeah,
but
please don't.
Other
Please
than
don't
that,
say
I
he's
agree
a
with
friend.
you.
He's a coworker at best.
Yeah,
Bum you picked up off the street. I get it.
but like one that like you're trying to openly sabotage to get fired.
Makes sense.
See you, Casey. Thanks for stopping by. And guys, I think that's going to do it tonight for Funny Science Fiction Podcast. Josh, Mark, thank you so much for stopping by. Guys, want to encourage everyone to go check out Dads Anime Stache. Give them a follow both on YouTube and on your favorite audio podcast provider. Check them out, especially if you're a big fan of anime. These guys do a really good job at reviewing them and making sure that they're giving you the best information possible. As you may have saw tonight, they are full of facts, figures, and lots of things that I have known nothing about, but they got it on lockdown. So we'll go give them a check out, okay? And let's see, one more comment here. I got to get back to adulting. Love all your faces. Nick, great mustache. There it is.
It's true. We could have him be a guest on our show just to sit there, not actually talk anime, but just sit there and twiddle his mustache for
You
about
could,
45
if you watch the
40
Sam
minutes.
I could just send you a GIF of that.
Yeah, it's not the same though.
He would-
you know what I mean?
He would sit there and do
expecting
it.
now.
Yeah. Now I'm kind of expecting that to happen.
Just be careful though. He might send you a video of him pretending to be a geisha.
That's fine.
It's happened.
Yeah,
It's happened.
that's completely fine. That's encouraged. It airs after 10:30, so I mean, that's perfectly allowed.
Hey,
All
whatever.
right.
There it is. All right, guys. Thank you so much for paying attention to Funny Science Fiction Podcast. Until next time. On behalf of the rest of the hosts of Funny Science Fiction, we'd like to thank you for listening to this episode. If you'd like to be a guest on one of our future episodes, please contact us by means of our Facebook group, Funny Science Fiction. You can find us on Twitter or Instagram using the handle @FunnySciFi, or you can go to DraytonAllen.com and click the Contact Me link at the bottom of the page. Thanks again. Hope you enjoyed the episode.